The discovery. Dr. Zara Nightshade had always believed that the universe had a sense of humor. After all, what else could explain how she, Earth's leading quantum communications researcher, had ended up discovering the most ridiculous weapon in human history? As she stared at her quantum resonance monitor, coffee mug frozen halfway to her mouth, she couldn't decide whether to laugh or cry at the patterns dancing across her screen. "Pip," she called out to her AI assistant, "please tell me you're seeing this too, or someone's been messing with my coffee again." "I am indeed observing the anomalous frequency pattern, Dr. Nightshade," Pip's pleasantly modulated voice responded. "And may I remind you that the coffee incident was merely Dr. Thompson's failed attempt at courtship? Because nothing says, 'I love you,' like mild hallucinations during a quantum stability test," Zara muttered, expanding the visual representation of the wave pattern. "Run a comparative analysis on this frequency against our known database." The laboratory around her hummed with the gentle whir of quantum computers and holographic displays. The walls, typically a sterile white, reflected the pulsing blues and purples of the anomalous frequency pattern. It was beautiful, in a way, like watching the aurora borealis translated into mathematical equations. "Processing," Pip announced, "though I must note that your sarcasm levels are particularly high this morning. Perhaps more coffee would help. Less sass, more analysis, you glorified calculator." Harsh words from someone who named me Pip because you couldn't pronounce my full designation after your last all-nighter. Before Zara could retort, her lab's primary screen lit up with an incoming priority transmission from the Galactic Council. The stern face of Ambassador Chen filled the display, his usually immaculate appearance somewhat disheveled. "Dr. Nightshade, please tell me you've made progress. The Vorex have just glassed another colony world." Zara's humor evaporated. The Vorex Empire, imagine if someone had combined the worst aspects of corporate middle management with the aggression of a caffeinated honey badger, then gave them a fleet of planet-killing warships. For the past 3 years, they've been systematically destroying any world that refused to submit to their operational optimization protocols. "Ambassador, you might want to see this." She transferred her readings to his screen. "We were studying quantum communication patterns when we discovered something unusual." "Doctor, I'm looking at squiggly lines. Please translate into diplomat." Content continues with detailed exploration of the discovery, first tests, and initial implications of the harmony wave, building tension around whether this unconventional discovery could actually help against the Vorex threat. The section includes character development for Zara, Pip, and Ambassador Chen, while establishing the dire situation humanity faces. The narrative expands on the scientific principles behind the discovery, weaving in humor and technical details while maintaining the story's momentum. It culminates in the first successful test on the Battle Moss, setting up the stakes for the following sections. Section ends with the first major test of the harmony wave technology, leaving readers eager to see how this discovery will be developed into a potential weapon against the Vorex. The development. Luna Base's Strategic Command Center had seen its share of unusual briefings, but watching a purple mass of battle moss performing what appeared to be the electric slide was definitely a first. Admiral Thaddeus "Old Thunder" Rodriguez, decorated veteran of 3 interstellar campaigns and proud owner of the galaxy's most impressive mustache, was decidedly not amused. "Dr. Nightshade," he growled, his legendary mustache twitching with disapproval, "are you suggesting we fight the deadliest empire in known space with dance moves?" Zara stood her ground, clicking to the next slide of her presentation. "With all due respect, Admiral, considering your current strategy of shoot really big guns at them has resulted in 12 destroyed colonies, perhaps it's time to think outside the ammunition box." Pip, projected as a hologram beside her, helpfully added a rim shot sound effect. "This is preposterous." General Kimberly Jiao slammed her fist on the table. "We need weapons, not wedding reception entertainment." "Interesting you should mention weddings," Zara continued smoothly. "Pip, show them test subject 47B. The hologram shifted to display a Vorex warrior, captured during their last raid, attempting to maintain its fierce battle stance while its legs performed an impeccable Irish jig. The sight of the 8-foot-tall, chitinous warrior involuntarily river dancing had several junior officers stifling laughs behind their hands. But it wasn't just the comical display that had Zara excited. The quantum readings from the test subjects showed something far more profound. Ladies and gentlemen, she gestured to a series of brain-wave patterns displayed alongside the dancing alien. What you're seeing isn't just forced choreography. The harmony wave appears to influence the fundamental neural patterns of conscious beings. It doesn't just make them dance, it alters their aggressive impulses. Dr. Sarah Chen, the base's chief xenobiologist, leaned forward. Are you saying this frequency actually changes their behavior? More than that, Zara pulled up another set of data. We've been running tests on various species exposed to the harmony wave. Across the board, we're seeing decreased aggression, increased cooperative behavior, and, most importantly, a complete inability to maintain hostile intent while under its influence. The briefing room erupted in overlapping voices, but Admiral Rodriguez's bass cut through the chaos. Doctor, you're talking about some sort of pacification wave? Not exactly, Zara corrected. The subjects maintain their free will and cognitive functions. They can still make decisions, form strategies, even feel anger, they just can't help expressing it through dance. And here's the kicker, the longer they're exposed, the more the effect seems to spread. She nodded to Pip, who displayed footage from their containment facility. The original infected battle moss had been placed in proximity to other specimens, separated by quantum-shielded barriers. Over time, even without direct exposure to the harmony wave, the unaffected specimens began showing similar symptoms. It's like a mimetic effect, Zara explained. The frequency doesn't just affect individual consciousness, it resonates through the quantum field itself, creating a cascading pattern of influence. The more beings that are affected, the stronger the field becomes. General Jiao's expression had shifted from skepticism to calculated interest. You're describing a self-propagating weapon that requires no ammunition, causes no physical damage, and potentially converts enemies into dance partners. Precisely, Zara grinned. And the best part? Our initial tests suggest humans have a natural resistance to the more embarrassing side effects. We can still dance if we want to, but we maintain full control over our movements. Content continues with detailed development of the military applications, testing protocols, and the first large-scale trials of the harmony wave technology. The section includes the first signs of unexpected complications and potential risks, setting up conflicts for future parts. The narrative explores the ethical implications of the weapon, internal conflicts among military leadership, and the race to develop deployment systems before the Vorex can strike again. Section concludes with the first successful field test of the harmony wave technology on a larger scale, revealing both its potential and its limitations, while setting up the stakes for the first major confrontation with the Vorex. First Contact. Admiral Yukiko Sato watched from the bridge of the ESS Crescendo as the Vorex battle fleet emerged from hyperspace. 30 warships, their hulls gleaming with that distinctive copper oxide sheen that had become synonymous with terror across human space. Status of the harmony wave projectors, she asked, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. Lieutenant Marcus Rivera's fingers danced across his console. All systems nominal, Admiral. Quantum resonators are synchronized and ready for deployment across all frequencies. Dr. Nightshade's voice crackled over the comm, Admiral, remember, we need at least 60% of their fleet within the resonance field for the cascade effect to take hold. The Vorex ships moved with their characteristic precision, forming up into their infamous pyramid of productivity attack formation. Under normal circumstances, this would be the prelude to another devastating assault. But today, humanity had a different plan. Major Zhang, Sato called out, begin broadcast of Protocol Disco Inferno. In the ship's laboratory section, Zara watched the quantum readings with intense focus. Beside her, Pip projected interference patterns that looked suspiciously like vintage disco ball effects. You just couldn't resist, could you? Zara muttered. I merely chose the most appropriate visual representation of the data, Doctor, Pip replied primly. Though I must say, the Vorex ships do seem to be arranging themselves in a pattern remarkably similar to a dance floor formation. The first wave of quantum frequencies hit the Vorex fleet. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly but surely, the precisely arranged pyramid began to wobble. We're detecting unusual movement patterns in the enemy fleet, Lieutenant Rivera reported. Their formation is breaking down, but not in any way we've seen before. On the main view screen, the Vorex ships had begun to move in distinctly non-military patterns. The massive dreadnought at the formation's apex was executing what could only be described as a perfect spiral, while its escort vessels weaved around it in an intricate pattern that looked suspiciously like a conga line. Dr. Nightshade, Admiral Sato's voice was tight with controlled amusement, are they doing what I think they're doing? Before Zara could respond, an incoming transmission cut across all channels. The face that appeared on the screen belonged to Supreme Productivity Manager KX Thor of the Vorex Empire, his chitinous features arranged in their customary expression of disdain. However, something was different. His upper body swayed rhythmically, and in the background, his bridge crew appeared to be engaged in what looked suspiciously like a synchronized dance routine. This is most irregular, KX Thor attempted to maintain his authoritative tone, but his mandibles clicked in time to an unheard beat. What is the meaning of this inefficient movement paradigm? Content continues with the first major confrontation, unexpected complications with the harmony wave, and the discovery that the Vorex response isn't quite what they anticipated. The section explores the chaos of the battle-turned-dance party and its implications for both sides. The narrative introduces new tensions as some Vorex begin to embrace the change while others fight against it, leading to internal conflicts within their fleet. Meanwhile, the human forces discover that the harmony wave has some unexpected side effects they hadn't anticipated in their testing. Section concludes with a major twist that sets up the conflict for Part 4, as the Vorex reveal they're not as defenseless against the harmony wave as initially believed, but in a way no one expected. The counterattack. Supreme Productivity Manager KX Thor had never danced before the humans unleashed their bizarre weapon. Now, as he executed a perfect moonwalk across his command deck, he realized something profound: efficiency could be beautiful. Status report on Project Rhythm, he commanded, his mandibles clicking in time to an internal beat he couldn't quite suppress. Senior Optimization Specialist Vex RA swayed forward, her typically rigid posture now fluid with unexpected grace. Most fascinating, Supreme Manager. Our analysis shows the human's harmony wave doesn't just affect motor functions, it's altering our quantum neural patterns on a fundamental level. Explain, KX Thor demanded, unconsciously adding a spin to his usual commanding gesture. The frequency resonates with our consciousness in ways our scientists never considered possible. Some of our younger warriors aren't just dancing, they're creating new dance forms. They're innovating. She whispered the last word as if it were forbidden knowledge. And it was. Innovation, creativity, individual expression, these were concepts the Vorex Empire had systematically eliminated in their pursuit of perfect efficiency. Until now. Back on the ESS Crescendo, Zara was discovering the same thing. Admiral Sato, you need to see this, she called, studying the latest quantum readings. The Vorex aren't just affected by the harmony wave anymore, they're adapting to it. Some of them are actually generating their own harmonic frequencies. Is this a threat? Sato asked sharply. I'm not sure, Zara admitted. But look at these patterns. They're not trying to counter the wave, they're improving it. Adding complexity. Creating harmony. Pip's holographic form flickered with concern. Doctor, I'm detecting unusual quantum resonance patterns across all monitored Vorex frequencies. They appear to be composing. Composing what? Music, Doctor. They're creating their own music. Content continues exploring the unexpected evolution of the harmony waves effects, as the Vorex begin to develop their own relationship with rhythm and movement. This leads to a split within their empire between those embracing this new form of expression and those fighting to maintain their rigid efficiency. The narrative delves into the philosophical implications of using a weapon that fundamentally changes consciousness, raising questions about free will and the nature of warfare. Meanwhile, both humans and Vorex discover that the harmony wave is having deeper effects than anyone anticipated. Section concludes with a major crisis as the wave begins affecting quantum communications across all of known space, setting up the final part where both species must work together to prevent a cosmic dance party from spiraling out of control. The Universal Dance. 3 months after the Great Cosmic Disco began, as historians were already calling it, Zara found herself standing on the observation deck of Harmony Station. The newly constructed Joint Human-Vorex Research Facility orbited the exact point in space where the harmony wave had first achieved consciousness-altering resonance. The quantum harmonics are particularly melodious today, Pip observed, its holographic form swaying gently. Though I detect a slight dissonance in Sector 7. That would be the experimental jazz quartet, Zara replied, watching a group of Vorex warriors experimenting with what they called freestyle chitinous percussion. They're pushing the boundaries of traditional rhythm structures. The station's massive quantum resonance chamber beneath them pulsed with synchronized energy, helping to stabilize and direct the now self-aware harmony wave. What had started as a weapon had evolved into something far more profound, a universal translator of consciousness, expressing itself through movement and music. Admiral Sato entered the deck, accompanied by Supreme Manager KX Thor. The Vorex leader's traditional efficiency medallions had been replaced with what appeared to be disco balls, though he insisted they were productivity enhancement spheres. The Galactic Council is ready for the demonstration, Sato announced. Are you sure about this, Dr. Nightshade? Zara nodded, turning to face the assembled leadership. The harmony wave has shown us something extraordinary. The universe isn't just alive, it dances. And now we can dance with it. She gestured to Pip, who initiated the station's primary quantum resonators. On the main display, they watched as the wave pattern spread across space, touching star systems like notes on a cosmic scale. Observe, KX Thor clicked his mandibles excitedly. Each solar system responds with its own unique rhythm, yet all are part of the greater harmony. The data streams showed it clearly, planets orbited in time with stellar pulses, creating complex polyrhythms. Dark matter flowed like melody lines through the cosmic structure. Even the background radiation of space itself hummed along in perfect counterpoint. We thought we were creating a weapon, Zara explained to the assembled dignitaries, but what we really built was a key, one that unlocked the universe's own dance. The Vorex weren't wrong about seeking efficiency, they just didn't realize that the most efficient pattern in existence is rhythm itself. Vex R.A., now the head of the Joint Xenomusicology Department, stepped forward. Our latest research suggests that consciousness itself might be an expression of these universal rhythms. When we dance, we're not just moving our bodies, we're synchronizing with the fundamental nature of reality. The station's quantum field suddenly shifted, and every being present felt it, a pulse, a beat, a rhythm that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The harmony wave had evolved again. It's beautiful, Sato whispered, watching as distant stars began to pulse in synchronized patterns. But can we control it? Control? Zara laughed. Admiral, I don't think we're meant to control it. We're meant to join it. As if in response, the quantum field rippled with new frequencies. Across known space, every sentient being felt the invitation to move, to express, to become part of something greater than themselves. In the Vorex Empire, rigid efficiency protocols gave way to flowing movement patterns that somehow improved productivity while encouraging creativity. Human colonies discovered that quantum communications worked better when accompanied by music. Even the most serious diplomatic negotiations now included dance breaks. It was hard to maintain hostility while doing the cha-cha. The universe, it turned out, had a sense of humor after all. On Harmony Station's observation deck, Zara watched as human and Vorex scientists worked together, mapping the ever-evolving patterns of cosmic choreography. Each new discovery revealed more about how deeply rhythm was woven into the fabric of existence. "Doctor," Pip interrupted her thoughts, "I'm detecting a new harmonic pattern forming in the Carina Nebula. It appears to be swing dancing. The universe wants to Lindy Hop." Zara grinned. "Why not? Hit it, Pip." As the AI initiated the station's quantum synchronization sequence, Zara reflected on how far they'd come. They'd set out to end a war and instead discovered the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. The stars danced on, and this time, everyone was invited to the party. End.